Welcome back for the final part of this week's Copenhagen Dreaming. Yes, we have arrived in Dublin. It's there is a and you are sitting in the home of arguably the prettiest werewolf in Christendom, and having food.
Food is good.
Food is good.
Foods.
And she looks at all of you and says, so if I may ask, and please do tell me if I'm being, if what I'm asking now is none of my business, I will understand. But why are you here? I mean,
Politics.
well, isn't that always the case?
We kind of need to talk with the king because we don't have a king in Denmark.
Oh, so I thought Denmark was a kingdom.
No,
It's a duchy.
Duchy. Oh, I see. Oh, so it's a kingdom for dreamers, for mortals, but it's a duchy for you. I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, and so this duchy is under the overlordship of the king here in Ireland. I suppose everything is in a strange sort of way.
Yeah, this is the big king that's here.
Yes, that is true. You should probably know his mother died during all the fighting that you may have heard of that went on here in Ireland not that long ago. So he is relatively new to the throne.
Yeah, as far as I understood, the stuff that happened here is the reason the werewolves are going crazy in Denmark.
Oh, I see.
Apparently the males are killing the females by the dozen, and the females are retaliating, and Senya's pissed off them off.
That is so stupid. I can understand why Senya would get angry at something like that. That is just dumb. There aren't enough of us to begin with.
And apparently they're pretty adamant.
Well, if anybody can knock some sense into them, I suppose it's Xenia.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah.
We've offered for our help, but she hasn't said anything yet.
Well, I might drop a hint to my leader that it might be a good idea to send some reinforcement for Xenia. Just to help her.
Yeah, she's gonna need it. Well, she's pretty strong, but there's a lot of them.
Well, yes. I think I might actually let my own leader know. My alpha, as we call them.
Oh.
Alpha. That's very wolf pack-ish.
Well, we are.
I know, it's just, something you understand, but in another way.
Well, true. But we are, we are pack animals more than most. And her husband just, he puts down his fork and looks across at her and says, "Oh, you really are. But such animals, such animals."
What?
She blushes, and she's like, "Not here, not in front of guests." And he just looks at all of you and says, "I can't help it. I have a gorgeous wife."
Sonny looks like he's concentrating and not commenting. It's quite obvious.
I think I'm just staring down into the plate. Slightly red ears.
I'm sure.
Trying just to not meddle in that one.
Yes, Jasmine meanwhile just is perfectly happy with this and just. I'm sure you're very lucky to have each other.
I'd like to think so, he says. I'd like to think so. Not that it's always easy, When let's put it this way: when she has a bad hair day, she has a really bad hair day.
Well, worry
She
about
just
the small floating at the table. You should hear Jonas's mom.
she pouts and looks at all of you and says, "It's not fair. Just because I've shed in the bed sometimes."
I know the pain, Amasator.
It's see that you understand.
Exactly. It's even worse when I also have a bad feather day. I also have wings.
Ooh, that is an unusual combination.
I know. Even the one who found me looks surprised.
Right. That must be very useful. I'm assuming that these wings actually mean that you can fly.
I can fly, yeah.
Oh, that must be so cool.
You're pretty... As far as I understood in Senia, you're pretty willful creatures. You remember even after being glamored, don't you?
Some of us do, see?
Alright then.
But, anyway, she says, give me a moment. I will go and get the beds ready and so on. I hope it's okay if a couple of you sleep on the couches.
That's
Sure.
fine.
Yeah, sure.
You need help with it? We're
No. It's fine. It's fine. Don't worry. I know where I keep the extra bedding. And she gets up and heads off. And as she's about to leave the room, she says, "Oh, by the way, I made a phone call to one of the local fae. I hope it's all right. He should be here soon."
Oh,
Sure.
of course.
And not long after she leaves the room, there is in fact a knocking without.
Without what?
If you're gonna be like that, you can stay out without all night. Anyway,
Without what?
that's just an expression that there's a
I
knocking outside anyway, and the door is opened and in walks a satyr.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think I already know who it is.
Mm-hmm.
He's the perfect diplomat.
Oh, yes. I mean,
There you go.
of course he is. I
I
don't. We
can't
can't
see anything.
You might need to make it more. Check the permissions.
Let's try again.
Yes.
There you go.
Yes.
Ah,
Yes.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he is the best kind since he's dating a werewolf. What kind of better diplomat can you have?
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of difficult to find a better one for the job, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. I think again, playing to Jasmine's ability, her flaw, she can't help but whisper under her breath, "Oh my god, he's gorgeous."
Yeah, I think Jonas stares as well.
Sonny just smilingly gives him the "Hello, I'm Sonny."
He does a bow with such flourish. It is so theatric that it almost looks like it's a parody, but he pulls it off perfectly. And he stands upright and says, "A pleasure to meet you. My name's Aura."
Hi, I'm Jonas.
Jonas? And Sonny? And what about the rest of you?
Jasmine.
Jasmine?
Charlie.
Charlie?
August.
August?
Agnes.
And Agnes. It is my pleasure to meet all of you. And I understand from Francesca that you need to speak to His Majesty.
If that is
Yeah.
possible, yes.
No, it should be possible, just probably not on 5 minutes notice, if you understand. It takes a little while.
Of course.
But I'll definitely make sure that, whenever I leave here, then I'll make sure to go and start making arrangements. It shouldn't be too big of a problem. Just so that you know, because you probably, you'd be welcome at court even if you can't meet with the RE right away. He's a busy man, but you'd still be welcome to visit at court, I'm sure. So you'd have to go to the place called the Bleeding Horse. It's a nightclub, or pub, or a little of both, really.
Why would anyone call that pub a bleeding horse?
I have no idea. It's been called that for, well, ever.
So he scratches his hair like the fuck.
But in any case, you're very you'd be very welcome to come and visit and just take a look around.
Would they let us in?
Look for a young woman there with grey hair and a very, very sunny disposition, and don't mind if she tells you a tall story or two.
Oh, she's a puka then.
She's a puka. Her name is Miela. She can let you in. She's easy to spot. Seriously, that hair, you're not going to go wrong.
Yeah, that's. I mean, I certainly would be most polite of us to go and present ourselves.
I suppose so, but you don't have to tonight. You just landed, for goodness sake. So tomorrow's fine. Take the time to actually hit the ground running.
Where was the Bleeding Horse again?
He explains where you need to go past. If you go down to St. Stephen's Green, which is kind of very, very central, and I can guarantee you that Francesca can show you the way to there, because that's where the werewolves hang out. If you continue a couple of 100 meters further along, then you'll find the Bleeding Horse maybe 300 meters further down the road.
Oh, okay.
You have to go by... the road is called Thradarcher. Yeah, exactly.
I'm not gonna try.
I'm not expecting anyone to actually get that. It's Harcourt Road, and then it's right off the side. You can't really miss it if you just you're going from St. Stephen's Green down Harcourt Road and then look to the right. Then there you have it, big green building.
All right.
It's so yeah. Anyway, may I ask, why are you here? I mean, it's nice to have visitors from elsewhere and all that, but I mean, Denmark, for goodness sakes, this is quite a ways.
Sunny looks to Jonas if he wants to speak. Has he regained the speech yet?
Or is he still sitting there with his jaw hanging loose?
He is in the process of regaining his ability to speak.
Alright. Sunny looks at him for a while, realizes he's still composing himself. Well, there are some politic issues in Denmark. And since we don't have a king, we need the king.
Right. So this is big politics, sorta.
It's the Duke is dumb, we need a king.
Oh. Yeah, right, that is big politics.
It is quite an oversimplification, but yes. There's a lot to explain.
The Duke is dumb.
He
is.
He has been exceedingly careless.
You were so close to saying dumb yourself. Sunny smirks.
So basically, we need an adultier adult.
Right. And
of course they send the young ones to ask for that.
Of course. In our world, being young means being the coolest, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, but basically we were sent by the Duchess.
Right.
Because
So the Duchess is the wife of the Duke, or am I getting this all backwards?
No.
Right.
She'll kill anyone who says that too.
Oh, right.
The Duke, the male Duke, is the leader of our summer court. The Duchess is the leader of our winter court. Right.
Oh, you have two different courts like that. That's quite normal. I know. We don't here. We have the same court year round, but we have the RE here, so that kind of probably explains why.
And what about your What about your other court? Do you have one of those here?
Oh, you're referring to some, like the nightmares.
Yes.
Oh, no, we call them the Shadow Court.
All right. Well, yeah, different names, but same arseholes. No, we haven't had problems with them here for quite a while. Very occasionally, one will pop up, and point being that the court here in Dublin is it's too powerful. You're never gonna, well, you should never say never, I suppose, but it would probably be kind of suicidal to try to establish something like that here.
You lucky bastards.
Yep.
I take it from that you're having real problems with the nightmares in Copenhagen.
That is quite an understatement.
Traitorous assholes.
That sounds serious.
But I actually think a lot of our problems would be lessened if we could actually persuade the king here to help along bringing in a king or queen Denmark.
Right. Well, that I suppose is I wouldn't say it's impossible, but I don't understand politics on that level myself.
I wish I didn't. I'm sadly getting smarter. It's horrible.
He laughs and shakes his head and says, "I'm believe me, I'm doing my level best to avoid getting smart to politics. It's just no. I know,
save me.
I've got my hands full, I've got a girlfriend who's a werewolf. I've got all the problems I ever need in my life."
Ooh. That's gonna be interesting once a month, huh?
Yeah. That's putting it mildly. And Francesca comes back into the room and says, "We can't help it. We shed on the beds."
Oh, as far as I can see from the fine satyr here, he does too.
He says, I would be lying if I said I didn't, at least from time to time.
So he just smiled sympathetically. Yep.
So, but anyway, he says, I'll go and I'll as I said, I'll start making the rounds and letting people know that you've arrived and so I can tell people that you're gonna be by tomorrow, right?
Yep, I will at least.
All right. I suggest if you drop by after 5 o'clock in the afternoon, that's probably when it's easier to blend in.
All right. What happens before then?
It's mostly that, well, frankly, most of you are a bit young to be in a nightclub.
Yeah.
And
luckily, I'm usually interchanged with an adult.
But during the evening, people don't care as much. During daytime hours, it's a normal pub. So if you came there, then they'd probably be a bit like, "Nah, you're too young to be here. Get out," that sort of thing.
Oh, like that.
Yeah. Nothing more complicated than that, really.
Do you have any traditions we should observe, like, I don't know, bring an olive branch the first time you meet
No, but do bow when you get there. Do bow to when you meet the king.
I dream of doing otherwise.
Yeah, yeah.
He's not a bad sort. Let me just be completely serious here. He's not a bad sort, but he is, in many ways, he's a she. They are, as you know yourselves, many of them are fond of their power. So is he. He's good at it. He's good at it, so it's all right.
Of course. Out of character, because I imagine
Yes.
Jonas would know this. What is the correct address for king?
Your Majesty.
Your Majesty?
Yes.
Alright. Just one.
Same thing we called his mommy.
Yes.
But that was way back.
That's way back. Yes. Majesty is the correct term for a
Yes.
king.
Yes.
Or my liege.
Yes.
Majesty for liege for king, highness prince or princess, grace for duke.
Yes.
Okay.
And if you're ever in doubt, always call them my liege. Because
Yes. That'll cover pretty much anything.
Yeah.
Ah, that's good to know.
Yes, it's especially applicable if they are quite literally your liege, as in that they are they are your direct master.
Yes.
Well, they basically are.
But any stuck-up old fart that rules will enjoy being called
Yes.
master.
So anyway, he gets up and says, I'd best be going then, but I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah.
Right. Take care.
Thanks for the help.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. And he leaves, and basically, I'm guessing that you're spending a nice evening with Francesca and her husband, and just chatting, or I don't know, playing a board game or something. Well, you know what? They've got Cards Against Humanity in that household, if any place. If anybody has Cards Against Humanity, it's bloody Francesca. So yeah.
Yes.
I think unless she minds terribly, Jonas will have a lot of questions about werewolf.
Oh, she's okay with answering most of them, obviously. You know, there are some things that are secrets, but she'll answer most of them.
Oh yeah, that's good.
Again,
Yeah,
the relationships between the Fae and the werewolves in this city are so good that most secrets are, you know, spoken of pretty openly between the two peoples.
Okay.
That is the best way to keep an open relationship.
Yeah. I don't expect us to go into detail about this, but I do have to ask. Does she at any point make reference to or talk to us about the Fated, about the pack from...
Not really, not unless it's brought up by you, then it's...
Well,
And we wouldn't really know about them to begin with.
Exactly.
Okay, that's fair enough. You can't blame me for wanting that nostalgia.
No,
I
not at all.
I do think Sunny asked, what did happen?
Oh, and then she's gonna go into some explanation. Then
Because
she
it
will
would be
explain.
nice to know what happened here, since everything is going haywire in
Well,
Denmark.
she explains that for about a year, the city was under siege, and that very, very powerful magics made it impossible for anything supernatural to leave Dublin or enter Dublin. So basically what was there to begin with was what could be there. Nobody could get reinforcements, which, you know, was obviously somewhat of a problem, especially since the vampires could just create their own reinforcements. And that there had been a sort of a cold war between the vampires and the werewolves for a while, that they had killed each other, but you know, as the two peoples often do, but that for a while there had been sort of a stalemate where both sides had avoided each other more than anything, and then that had broken out into much more of open hostilities. And that in the end, it turned out that all of these problems were, in one way or another, orchestrated by werewolves that had betrayed their own kind. And she explains it that basically they are the werewolf equivalent of the Shadow Court.
Is it in that struggle the Queen died?
Yes. That was towards the very end of it. She explains that is when the Queen was killed and a lot of werewolves, and it was an absolutely horrific massacre. But in the end, the werewolves did come out of it on top, the werewolves and the Fae, and that they have been rebuilding ever since, and with considerable success.
Sunny looks at the other. Imagine what we could do if we had the werewolves on our side in Denmark. That's never gonna happen, though.
Never say never.
I mean...
Come on, they kill us on sight.
With the work Xenia's doing.
Yes.
Well, she'll have to actually win to, change that.
Well,
At any rate, I'm happy most of you are okay after that.
well, quite a lot of. She does explain that the death toll was very high, but that that others have arrived since then, and she says it's a rebuilding process, but it's going quite well. So
That's nice.
But then, as I said, the evening probably passes with stuff like that, and Cards Against Humanity, and tea and coffee, and so on.
Yes.
Right.
You do realize you're giving us an in-character reason to hate sweets, right?
Oh, no.
I hadn't actually thought of that.
The Swedes are gonna take over fucking Denmark. What did you expect?
I hadn't actually given that much thought. No, I'm... Good grief. Yeah. So, the following day...
Yes.
Does anybody have anything they want to do during daytime hours in Dublin?
Sightseeing!
Someone who should go look at some museums or something like that.
Yes.
Yeah, I think Sonny and Agnes should go and at least take some pictures to, in case.
Just in case, yes.
She's gonna have to drag him out of the art museum.
There are several quite good art museums in Dublin. The old...
I'd have to drag him along every time he stops to paint and draw something.
Yes.
Ooh! No, Sonny, come. Ah! No, Sonny, come.
We don't have all day to stand here in front of this one painting. But
look at the river. It's so beautiful in the sun. No.
So...
All of the bridges, they're amazing.
Yes. So you get a lot of different photos taken, and basically some of you go sightseeing. But does anybody want to do anything other than that?
Would and Jonas will ask this? Would it be inappropriate for us to visit
The what?
St. Stephen's Green?
Oh, during daytime hours, you're absolutely welcome to go there. Francesca informs you, because it's a public park.
Yeah, I mean, it could still be that there were rules.
No. You can definitely go there during daytime hours, as long as it's open to the public. That's not a problem.
Oh, cool. I'd like to see it at least.
Yep.
I mean, I don't expect it to be... I don't know. Should I expect anything?
Not really. You get, you can take a look around and see it's a pretty nice park.
Yeah.
If a raven pissed at you, run.
Well, Jonas would like to do that. In the back of his mind, he's like, okay, am I going to feel anything different about this place now that I've been told it's a special place?
No, because it's a different kind of energy, obviously. So when you get there, it is literally just a rather nice park. Lots of people present. Huge numbers of people use St. Stephen's Green during daytime hours, and
especially if it's good weather.
Exactly, especially if it's good weather, and it is. Right up until roughly noon. Then suddenly the skies open and Irish summer makes its arrival.
I think at that moment somewhere else in the city, Sonny is pointing, oh, look, a cloud! And then, whoosh!
Pretty much. It's, as the expression goes, and I've said this before, but for the benefit of the listening audience, there is a saying in Ireland that I heard pretty quickly after I arrived there and lived there that goes, in the Bible they call 40 days and 40 nights of rain a disaster. In Ireland we call it summer.
Yep.
And it's not entirely untrue. The year before I moved there, they had 64 days of rain in a row.
That's impressive.
Hey,
It's
at
because
least all their plants got watered.
It's actually why it's called the Emerald Isle, because all the storm fronts from the Atlantic that come in over Europe will hit Ireland first. So it rains a lot, so everything is green.
Makes sense.
So yeah, so Irish summer makes its presence known around noontime, and it is coming down in freaking buckets.
Yeah, I imagine it takes no time before Jonas is soaked.
Completely.
I think it's one of those time where it starts raining and you're like, I should find shelter, and then, never mind.
Never mind. And actually, I think that this is, I know it's a little early, but I think it's a pretty good place to stop before you guys are supposed to go and talk to people at court.
Yeah.
That'll be nice. Showing up looking like drowned rats.
Yeah, excellent timing, isn't it? But shall we do that, I think, and then we will be back next week with more of Copenhagen Dreaming and more Fae shenanigans?
Yes.
Yeah.
More Fae shenanigans.
Definitely.
All the shenanigans.
Yes, and no, it is not a song of Tara, Sonny.
I know, but we can quickly run over there and sing just to do it.
Right, anyway, guys, I give you 3 XP for tonight.
That brings us to 37.
I agree.
Yes.
Yes.
Right, and to the listening audience from us here at CharismaToAC, we'll see you next week, and for now, bye.
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 Bye bye.